This episode of Off My Shelf contains coarse language and adult conversation. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, my name is Tracy James and welcome to Off My Shelf, a podcast about movies that are well off my shelf, where we go through my DVDs and talk about the movies in my collection. In this episode, Shayna Fine joins me in talking about a murderous singing plant and a poker game gone horribly wrong with Little Shop of Horrors and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Welcome!
Yeah.
So before I pressed record, I had to remind myself to press record because I was already starting to talk excitedly about these movies.
Yeah.
And I thoroughly enjoyed rewatching these things, and especially Little Shop of Horrors. I'm just like, why don't I watch this movie more often? This movie is great.
The best.
It is. It is. I honestly think I'm not a huge fan of musicals, but I think this is the first musical I've ever liked. And also still my favorite musical.
Wow. It's a big statement. I don't know if it's my favorite. I feel like maybe tie between Miss Saigon and Legally Blonde, which is a great musical if you haven't seen it.
Okay.
Like it wouldn't be really good.
Yeah. I have not seen either, so I don't know.
Yeah, you got to see both of them. Very different.
Yeah. But like I said, I'm not a big fan of musicals. So I don't really hunt them down. I'm not like, oh, I have to see this and I have to see this. I mean, like one of my other favorite musicals was like The Evil Dead, the musical. Yeah. I thought it was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
So I always see those like the non-usual kind of like off-kilter musicals, you know.
The Toxic Avenger.
Oh, I saw that one.
Partially based on Little Shop.
Yeah, but also Toxic Avenger, the musical, was not very good. Like...
Like I don't think music great, but I don't know.
But I think that's how you find a good musical. Like you remember the songs and you walk out and you're like humming at least one of them and you're like, oh, this was so great. But with Toxic Avenger, I walked out and I was like, yeah, okay. And you can't, I cannot.
Like the Toxic Avenger. I don't remember. That's all I remember, but it was so good.
I don't know. I literally remember as soon as the thing was over, except for so I don't know if it's the same with every version, because I know this was like Toronto was like the third stop, I think, when they did Toxic Avenger. But the stage was essentially I don't even know was like a wheel almost with like three sections, and each section was a different set. Yeah. And so when they'd move through spaces, like this wheel behind them would turn, then they'd walk into that area. And that's the one thing I remember about it. That's it. That's literally all I remember about Toxic Avenger, the musical.
I remember it being funny. I don't really remember why it was funny. But I remember coming out thinking, that was funny.
But this is why I think it was bad, because you can't remember anything about it.
Well, funny something. There's a lot of things I've seen where I remember zero.
Like usually if I enjoyed an experience, I remember like aspects of like the story, like the thing. Yeah. Whereas with this, like I'm like, I know Toxic Avenger is like, what is it? A guy who fell into like a toxic swamp or something?
I think so. I think it was like a factory where there was some kind of toxic chemical.
Yeah, like the thing is, I watched the B movie and I watched the musical. I can't remember anything about it.
I think it's a love story.
Yes, there's always a love story part of it, because like the blonde pretty girl who's like the cheerleader falls in love with him or something still.
Yeah. Aubrey character.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, exactly. But, you know, Audrey is much better. Yeah. I got to say. I think before I was also saying that I remembered everything about this movie. Everything.
Little Shop, yeah.
Yeah. And I did not mind that at all rewatching it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it made it better, but like the song would start and I would just start singing along. I'm like, yeah, you'll be a dentist, you know, like the whole thing. And I'm like, oh, this is so good. So good. Yeah.
I think sometimes the movies you see when I saw it in theater, like as a grown up, but I remember watching it as a kid, like over and over again. I think that sticks with you too, right? And now, like the kids who are growing up watching Frozen 1,000 times or Encanto, they'll probably remember that forever.
But I don't remember seeing this as like a kid. I would have been, it was a while. Like I would have been probably a teenager when I saw this the first time. So I wasn't like young. And I definitely didn't see it in the theater. And I still remember when I first watched it, I'm like, oh, that was great. I liked that.
Yeah.
That was cool.
It's just such good characters. And I don't know. You wouldn't think that like a terrible plant would be so entertaining, but somehow I think it's the music.
I think so too. The music definitely says that. What the thing I found interesting about it, which I didn't realize, like I knew this was a stage play before it was a movie, which was fine, but I didn't realize that it was a movie, then a stage play, and then they made it into another movie. I was so confused by all of that when I found that out. And Jack Nicholson's first role was in the B movie that this is based on. Yeah.
Well, the B movie was good too, but I think this one was better. This is like the classic. Even the stage play. Usually the stage play is better than the movie. I don't think this was.
No?
No. Well, because you can't like Rick Moranis and Steve Martin. Like that was such a moment in time, you know?
That is true. Yeah. And even like, I did forget one thing. I forgot John Candy was in this. And so when he showed up as the radio host, I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good cast.
I do love everything about this movie. Like, I don't know.
I know there's nothing to critique. Really.
There isn't.
It's a perfect movie. Even though it's like campy and silly, the good guy wins in the end. You get some good like blood.
Yeah.
And seeing women in the street. It's all happening downtown.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it's true. Like, I'm sitting here trying, like, what do I talk about? Do I just keep going, like, it's really good, you should watch it. It's good. It's good. Watch it. You'll love it. It's so good. I can't say that for 20 minutes. Like, that just seems weird.
Well, so I started to tell you before we hit record, when I was in summer camp as a kid, I went to Jewish summer camp. Shocking. Plays every summer, but they were always like a Jewish version of a play. So we put on Little Shop of Torahs.
Oh my God.
I still have the t-shirt. I still wear it as pajamas, never in public. I don't think I ever wore it in public. Like downtown, that was my role. I was pretty proud of it.
That's a very good role. I love it. Yeah, I love the three chorus singers or whatever. Like, they're so, like, they make a specific tone to the movie as well, where it's just like, you know, it's something relatively, I don't even know how to put it, because they skirt this line so perfectly that you're just like, wait, like, is it serious? Is it campy? Is it supposed to be just a giant joke? Or is this supposed to be like a real reflection of our society? Because they do touch on a lot of like very dark things in this movie. Like, just like from the start, you're just like, wow, that's interesting. Yeah. But there's adoption, poverty, social status, domestic abuse, loneliness, and like, it's sadism, right? If you like hurting people, masochism if you like being hurt.
Being a dentist, but yeah.
Well, it's both sides of those things, right? And it's just
like vengeance. It's all of that, right? Yeah. But I remember, I think that was the first movie I saw where I saw like the domestic abuse so clearly, but done in sort of this like funny, campy way. And I remember even at the time being like, whoa, that hit me in a way that I wasn't expecting.
Well, yeah, like I was watching it too. And like, I remember that scene, but rewatching it now, like Audrey's being hit by this dentist dude because she fell off the motorcycle and he's like calling her like an idiot. You're so stupid. You better open the door quickly and all this kind of stuff. And he like, I mean, they don't actually show it. They show it as a shadow hitting her. But at the same time, I was just like, oh, that's a lot heavier than I remember it being. And maybe just like as an adult, you just kind of understand it more or something.
Yeah.
But, oh, wow. Like, it's so heavy.
But also, I think it needs to be, right? Because then it sort of justifies killing him. Like, he needed to be that bad that they're like, yeah, okay, plant food.
It's true. When he gets killed, I don't feel bad at all. I'm like, yeah, you deserve that. Is what you get.
Nobody's voting for him. I don't think.
No. The way they do it, it does really work, where just like it switches your audience mind into like, oh no, I'd kill him too. I understand all of this that's happening. It makes a lot of sense. But then when he kills the boss,
right?
And the thing is, the boss could have gotten away, but then he decided to be greedy. So then I didn't feel as bad as well. And I'm like, well, that's what happens. You know, if you're gonna do the right thing. If you're going to do the right thing, do the right thing.
Be a good person. Otherwise, you might get fed to a plant.
Yeah. And space alien plant might eat you.
Yeah. Well, there's other worse ways to go. Although, I don't know, it's pretty brutal.
He was chewed up alive.
True.
Yes.
True.
Compared to the dentist guy who technically killed himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the first killing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I would have a problem with the chopping.
Precursor to Dexter, kind of. Sorry.
I mean, that is a much better way to get rid of bodies than just wrapping them in plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much cleaner. Although you would hope, I always kind of wanted the plant to like bloom or, I don't know, give flowers or fruit or something back in the end. None of that.
Well, he technically kind of does. Yeah, but remember at the part at the end, just before he gets killed, he's got the buds, which is more heads. And then they blow up the store. But when Audrey and Seymour move into their house, they show like the little plant in their front yard. And I was like, oh, he multiplied. We should be worried.
Well, yeah, it wasn't like a pleasant, like, oh, look, this is just turned into roses.
Mm-hmm.
I did like wanted when I first watched it, but no.
But when they're tiny like that, they're much cuter. So I was okay with it.
They're cute.
Yes.
Just eat little people. They were just bugs, which is okay.
Yeah, eating bugs is fine. I'm okay with bugs. No mosquitoes anymore. They're like Venus flytraps. It's good.
I can see somebody would look at a Venus flytrap and turn that into a B movie, though. It's pretty weird. Have you ever seen a Venus flytrap in real life?
I've seen tiny ones at like a garden store.
Yeah.
But not like full big ones.
Big, like, I don't know, half the size of my face ones.
Oh.
Fully like eat a fly. It's very weird.
Huh. Okay.
No, we're mammals and we're used to eating things, but somehow seeing a plant do it, it's not right.
Well, because it makes you think like, maybe I'm not at the top of the food chain. Maybe I gotta watch where I'm going more or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully Audrey too is, I don't know. Like when we get to like Audrey, like 8. I'm waiting for that movie.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I don't know if they could. I wonder what they would do if they did a sequel to Little Shop of Horrors. They'd ruin it. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I wonder what like the plot would be. Like, do you just follow up with like Audrey and Seymour and the plant in the front yard's got bigger?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like War of the Worlds,
right?
Maybe. Yeah. Or maybe it could be like War of the Worlds where it's like there's an invasion happening. I don't know.
Or the dentist comes back as a zombie.
Ooh, that could be interesting as well.
Then maybe Aubrey, why do I keep saying Aubrey? Audrey gets to be the hero this time. Because that's the one part of the movie that didn't super age well, although you understand that she's kind of a battered woman. Wasn't maybe the strongest female character.
No, she definitely is. Yeah, she's very one-dimensional.
Yeah.
But I think it has a lot to do with, along with the like domestic abuse and all that kind of stuff. She doesn't think she's a good person,
right?
And she doesn't deserve her happiness. That's why she's like, I'm gonna stick with this dude who beats me up because I deserve it. And then when Seymour sings her a beautiful song, she realizes, you know what? No, I deserve love. I deserve caring and all that kind of stuff. But it's surprisingly quick after her boyfriend disappears and she's worried and all that kind of stuff. But
it's the power of music.
It is the power of music. It's true. Maybe that's what our society needs to like heal and get better. Just people need to break into song.
Just only communicate in song.
Yeah.
That would be my preference.
I don't know how I could do it. I mean, I could hum along something, but coming up with those lyrics real quickly would be difficult.
It'd just be like, whatever you're saying, you'd say it in a song.
That just reminds me of that episode of Scrubs where this lady hits her head and everybody around. Yeah. And then everybody's just singing songs the whole time.
Oh, good.
I would want to live in that society. I wouldn't want to get myself fixed after that happens. I'd be like, this is great.
Did you watch Schmigadoon that came out, I think, last year?
I have not. No.
I would enjoy Schmigadoon.
Yeah. No, I don't have Apple TV, so I never got around to it.
I'm sure it's somewhere. It's worth watching.
Yeah. Okay. My God, because what else? People have been telling me about all the Apple shows. They finally have content.
Yes, there's
and people. Shows. Yeah, and people are just like, oh, you have to watch like Foundation, and I really want to watch what's the Office one with Ben Stiller and Adam Scott and stuff?
Severance.
Yes, I really want to look at that.
I've seen it in a very long time.
Really?
So good.
Okay. All right.
They just finished season 1, and I'm going through withdrawal.
Okay.
So.
I have to get through that one. I have to find that one somehow. Maybe I could like hang out at my friend's place one day. Be like, oh, let's watch this show. I wonder what it could be. I don't know.
Oh, it's 10 hours later. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't expect any of that. Okay, bye. That'd be a good day. I'm down for it.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah, I'm finally catching up on a whole bunch of like different shows I've been watching lately. And so I'm finally getting around to finishing them. So I did the second season of Upload. Mm-hmm. What else did I watch recently? Oh, I kind of embarrassed to say this, but first of all, friends begged me to watch this show, and now I'm just into it. And I'm like, I have to see what happens. So I watched the second season of Bridgerton.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. And
people are really bitching that there's not enough sex scenes and stuff in it. But I'm like, but it's really good. It's actually solid storytelling this season.
But that's not what the show is.
Oh, come on.
Game of Thrones all of a sudden was just chatter. No, that's what you promised me in season 1.
I don't know. I like the second season better than the first one because it didn't depend on the sex scenes.
I didn't think they had very good chemistry, the two of them. I thought individually I liked them. I didn't like them together.
But that's why I really enjoyed that they were like separate most of the time. Mm-hmm. And like they're talking over here and somebody's talking over here and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I liked it. I just liked how naive the sister was. I'm like, how could you not notice this? And then finally when she figures out, she's like, how was I so blind? Yeah. I'm like, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that was super noticeable. What else? I was watching a really weird show called Centaur World. Thoroughly enjoying it.
I still don't really understand it, but
it takes a while. It takes a while. I'm rewatching Lucifer for some reason. I don't know why, but I'm enjoying it. And Only Murders in the Building. Thoroughly enjoying that right now.
Is that's the Steve Martin, Selena Gomez?
Yes, it is.
What is that on?
It's on Disney Plus.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't have that.
Okay. It's actually really good. I'm not done the season yet, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
I saw them interviewed and it looked interesting.
Yeah, it was not what I was expecting. Like I thought it was going to be like, funny jokes and antics the whole time, and it's not.
Oh.
And like there's like a proper mystery, and there are funny parts, but there's really dark parts, and all this kind of stuff is going on. It's really enjoyable. Also watching Moon Knight. I think there's a new episode out today. It's one of the few superhero things that I literally had never heard of Moon Knight before.
Yeah.
Don't know anything about it. So I'm enjoying watching a superhero thing where I don't have any background. So I can watch it the way most of my friends have been watching like Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
And be like, no, are they actually good storytellers or do I know shit? But so far, I think they're actually really good storytellers.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm enjoying this part of it.
Yeah.
I'm just watching a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I finished Servant, which is also Apple. It's the new, well, I guess not new anymore, M. Night Shyamalan series.
Sorry, I made a face when you said M. Night Shyamalan.
Well, the first season was good. The second season less so.
Mm-hmm.
But But I decided, I saw the movie Old. That was my one movie that I saw during COVID, like during a good time. I probably one of the top 3 worst movies I've ever seen. I decided that maybe that's why, because he was making this good show. So I kind of gave him a pass on that. That's a good show, though.
Okay. So I got to put that one on my list as well.
Haunted Baby on your list. That's the tease.
Okay. Okay. Very confused.
And I just started watching Kevin Can Go F Himself. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, that show kind of rubs me the wrong way. I'm not into it.
I'm only a few episodes in, but I sort of like stumbled on it and I was like, oh, what's this? Oh, this is not what I thought it was. So I'm enjoying it for that reason. But we'll see.
All right. Well, maybe I might have to give it another chance then.
Yeah.
Yes.
I also never watched Schitt's Creek, so I don't have a frame of reference for her. Probably
I do.
A certain way.
I don't watch Schitt's Creek either. So I don't know. I know this is a very unpopular opinion, but I tried watching Schitt's Creek and I did not enjoy it. And then people are just like, "Oh, you have to get to season 2," and I'm like, that is way too much time to give something to get into it. Like I can't. That's too much.
Season 1 is supposed to be better than season 2.
Yes, I agree. So like I'll give something 3 to 6 episodes before I give up. I gave up Schitt's Creek after 3 episodes. I was like, I am not enjoying this.
I was after 5 minutes. I was out.
Yeah.
On my heart, but I don't know. Try again.
I don't know. Like I'm glad why people like it. People explain to me why they like it. It's because it's certain relationships and blah blah blah. But I'm just like, I don't have time to go through a whole 2 seasons before I like the characters. Like that's just not. Yeah. That's too much time for me. I'm not into that. I'm okay.
Yeah, better.
Yeah. Anyways, back to Little Shop of Horrors. I know we have like nothing to say because we're just like, it's great. I love it.
So the song I always sing when I'm walking my dog, it's on my, because I have the album on my phone because I'm 1,000 years old, is a Mean Green Mother from Outer Space, and I don't think that's actually in the movie.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Yeah, okay. It's right. It's like the last song Audrey 2 sang.
It's like the very end.
Yeah, it's at the very end.
For some reason, I always think that song, like, oh, it should have been in the movie, but it wasn't.
I always I think it comes earlier than it does. Like, I always think it comes right when Audrey 2 starts talking, which is like about half an hour till the end. But no, it's like the last song.
Maybe that's why. Maybe I always fell asleep at the end.
It might be. Yeah.
I have a lot of movies like that where I'm like, oh, is this how it? No, that's not how it ended.
No, you're just like, oh, is that the end? I thought this was the end.
Goonies didn't end like in the cave. No.
They gotta get out on the beach and not sign the thing.
Yeah, I didn't remember the beach scene until like 2 years. Like, oh.
The thing that always confuses me is the octopus scene, because in the director's cut it's there, but in the theatrical cut it's not. And for years I thought I was going crazy because I'm like, there's an octopus scene.
I've never seen the director's cut, obviously.
What? Yeah, they apparently the released version. So when they're in, what part is it? Yeah, so it's when they get to the ship and they're all in the water and they're like swimming across. Yeah. They get attacked by an octopus. And so this is the thing that always confused me, because on the beach scene at the end, when they're retelling their tale of adventure, they actually mention we got attacked by an octopus, but you never see it in the movie. But it's because that scene was cut. But when they re-released it with like the director's cut with like extra footage, it has this octopus scene. So certain channels used to show that version and other channels didn't. And it was all very confusing.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. It's a
I'll wait till the end.
Yeah, like fans of the movie are just like, we all know about this octopus scene. And I'm like, I'm not crazy. Yes. Made me feel very happy.
Yeah, I don't feel like I missed not having an octopus in the movie. But maybe hence my experience.
You never know. I mean, it does add a little bit more like action to that last segment.
feels kind of easy when they get to the ship.
Yeah, you know, they slide down, they go inside, they have the little speech about One-Eyed Willie, and then the bad guys show up, the Fratellis. That's it. It's kind of boring, but all right. Throw an octopus in there. It gets exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as long as they don't cut Chunk out.
Chunk is very important. Mm-hmm.
Chunk was the whole movie.
Yes, he's so great.
We were supposed to be talking about, but just
okay. Little Shop of Horrors. I have to say, all of the women's costumes, including the Greek chorus, those outfits are fantastic.
Yes.
Audrey's outfits and those three girls' outfits, fantastic. Yeah. All the men look very like regular, but like the women's costumes are beautiful.
Yes. Although there were like the few like street people who had like the not so nice, but I guess that's on purpose.
Yes. But I do find it interesting how, like, I understand the whole Skid Row thing and stuff, but I like how there's been this like switch in our view of living downtown in a city now. Mm-hmm. Whereas like it was well known, like in the 80s and stuff, most big cities, downtown was like a gross, dirty, dilapidated space. Whereas now that's where all the fancy buildings are. People want to live there. They're paying crazy amounts for rent and stuff because everything's been, what's it called?
Gentrified?
Yes, gentrified. So, and then like all the rich people are now in those areas. And like,
I feel like now, like with COVID, everyone's moved back out to the burbs. There's been like this whole kind of, right? Didn't they call it like a big exodus away from the city?
Yeah, but isn't that more to do with the fact that they don't have to be near their work anymore and it was cheaper?
I think so, but I think there's still a little bit of that like white picket fence thing for some people.
People want space.
People want space. They want to have that little fence in the little yard and the sort of picture perfect, you know?
Sorry, and all the furniture covered in plastic to keep it clean.
Yes.
I love that part of the song.
My grandparents had that in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
My mother's parents, all the furniture was covered in plastic forever. It didn't come off ever.
Yep.
And I remember when we sold the house and people came and we did like a big sale and somebody bought the furniture and they like unzipped the plastic. And my whole family was like, "Oh, what is happening?" Unzip it. Like, you have to do that outside. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's upsetting.
They're like, it's too much. We can't do this. That is not allowed.
Ever covered in vinyl.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think especially all of us who were born in the 80s, all of our grandparents had everything covered in plastic. Yeah. Because all my grandparents had everything covered in plastic too. And if that plastic ripped, you were in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Zipped it. Big trouble.
The worst part is, so I'm from Trinidad, a Caribbean country, place gets hot. Right. Sitting on those things were unpleasant sometimes. They were so unpleasant because you would just get stuck to it. And you're just like, I can't move now. Or you'd like put your hand on it and like burn your hands because it's just so hot. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, torture. It was
great for like the 10-second rule.
Yes.
Like, soup on there. You can still be good.
Yes, exactly. It's fine. Yeah. The amount of kids that used to be running around, I think it was very necessary to have all that on everything because we definitely had like so they were also very into like doilies and stuff. So they'd have like wood tables, they'd have a layer of plastic and then like 35 doilies covering every like square inch of it, you know? So it's like you spill something, that goes in the washer, that gets wiped down. You're fine. Everything is good.
Yeah.
So things definitely did last longer.
Yeah. Well, it's true. I think people valued things. Although I don't know what the trade-off is of like never sitting on the actual cloth seat, but
yeah, I felt like I don't know, like you never got the to use the actual thing, you know?
Yes.
If it's like covered in something that you're not, it's like getting, you know, like a chair in a box and then instead of taking it out of the box, you sat on the box. Yeah. Like it just doesn't, you got to take it out of the wrapper.
Some friends growing up who had like a fancy room that could go in that was just for fancy guests.
Yeah.
Not for children.
Oh, my parents had one of those.
Yeah. I don't know. My parents tried to have one and it was not. We messed it up and made it not fancy. But
we had the family room and the living room. You never sat in the living room.
Yeah.
You know,
that's just for show.
Yeah, and that's where the expensive stuff was.
Uh-huh.
And then the family room was just like 2 pieces of wood and some cloth on it, and you just like ran all over it all the time. It was fine.
You made sports.
Exactly.
Do not touch the lamp in the big room.
It's true. We only got to sit in there when we had like special visitors, or
and you have to pretend like you're so comfortable, but really you sat in that chair before. So the whole time you're thinking, "Oh, this is fancy."
Yeah, you're just like, "Oh, is this what this feels like? Oh, this is actually not too bad." And like, it's all very springy and bouncy because nobody sits on it. Yeah, it's crazy. We actually still own one of the chairs from that fancy room. My mom still has it, and that chair is probably a good 25 years old now. But it's still in a really good condition because nobody sat on it for 15 years.
Is it covered in plastic or it's out?
Oh, no, it's out. Oh, it's out. Yes. Okay. Yeah, it's out. But yeah, like the only damage on it is because we used to have cats and they like ripped up the front of one part of it. And she's like, this is why. This is what happens. Oh, you know? Oh,
I know. My grandparents now would be horrified by my couch.
Yeah.
Like it should be covered in plastic with my dog, but no, it's not.
No, I think, but that's the thing. Like it's part of your daily cleaning or weekly cleaning routine. You just vacuum it or wipe it down, and you're good to go. I want to see the thing. I want to use the thing. That's it.
I just want all plastic furniture, and then I don't have to worry about it.
That's true. That'd be good too. Everything just like slides off.
Room. I'm good.
I think that's possible. I think it's totally possible. Yeah. As a person who's been recently shopping for a lot of furniture and stuff, I have to admit, a lot of that plastic furniture is like designer, quote unquote, and it is crazy expensive.
Yes. The ghost chairs.
Yes. Oh, they're very pretty. They're very nice. But one chair is like $400. No.
Yeah.
No. That is too much money.
Are you paying hundreds of dollars for something that looks like it's not there?
Yeah. No. Or I can go to IKEA and get a chair for like $50. Yeah. It's fine. And I love IKEA. It's a weird thing. I have a problem, I think. I'll make it.
Your Allen keys?
Oh, I have so many Allen keys. Oh my God. People are like, where's your toolbox? Here's my toolbox. It's like, it's a screwdriver, it's a hammer, and 65 Allen keys.
Yeah.
Possibly more. All different shapes and sizes, but all from the different pieces of furniture I've had to put together throughout the years. I'm like, why not keep them? Because you can buy like those Allen key like sets that have all the different sizes, but that's just paying an extra like $30-$40.
Have you ever actually gone back and fixed a piece of furniture with an old Allen key?
I have, like with moving and stuff, like you pull it apart and then you got to put it back together. I've done that before. But
I keep them, but they're in a bag. Once they're in the bag.
Never see it again.
If the furniture dies, it just dies.
It just dies. No, I agree. But it's one of those things like I have like power cables from phones from like 15 years ago. And I'm like, I can't throw this out. What if I'm going to need a USB whatever cable at some point? They don't make those
back in time, and then all of a sudden, or there's like one picture on your computer from 20 years ago. You need to plug it in.
And then it's gone. What are you going to do?
No, you have to keep that cord forever.
Yeah. Yeah. I think all of us now have like a box of cords somewhere that you're just like, I don't know what any of this is, but I can't throw it out. Something I have to keep. Yeah. Yeah. See, at least we understand Audrey and her song. We get it.
I do. I still sing that song. I get it.
But I think if they make that movie now, her song would not be about domestication. Like it's fully, I want to be at house and I want to make you dinner. I want to wear a pearl necklace and I'll have a Tupperware party with my friends every once in a while. I think now would be like, I think it'd still be like, we'll make a family and we'll get married, but I'll have like a really good job and like, I'll go jogging and, or something like, you know, I'll have my soap making business on the side. I'll be my own person. Like there'd be something more empowering
or like
as part of the song.
Cook a meal, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, technically the only meal they show in it, they say the song says she can bake. like Betty Crocker. But when they sat down for dinner, they had like a TV dinner and a tray, and she like uncovered it. I'm like, so what are you doing all day then?
But I think that was the ideal, right? In the 50s. It was sort of like a status symbol that you didn't have to cook, that you could actually like afford this TV dinner. That was, everything was pre-portioned and it was supposed to be like this perfect meal.
That's true. I again, another thing that is completely switched, because if you're sitting at home eating a TV dinner, people are just like, your life is sad.
Yeah.
That's sad.
I feel like now the takeout is the new TV dinner.
Oh yes, yeah. Like you're like, no, I gotta get my Uber Eats, or no, I'll order off, skip the dishes, it's fine, you know. And then you're just like, you have made it. But yeah, no, I did that for 3 days last week, and it cost me like $120, and I was like, this needs to stop.
I know.
Cannot. It's so expensive.
Last week I ordered like a rice bowl. It was $40 by the time you added in the tip and the delivery, and it was like, what am I really paying for like a 20-cent bowl of rice?
Yeah, that's what happened to me too. And I was just like, I have to like cook myself food now. This is just, or force myself to like walk down the street like the 3 blocks and like go buy the thing and bring it home. No. Not happening. Doing that alone like cuts your costs in half, like automatically. And then also, I think the store ends up getting more money too because of the percentage the delivery people take off of it.
Yeah, I think actually some of the prices are. This is probably not exciting for your podcast, but I think some of the prices are actually like lower from the store menu than they are when on the apps. They raise the prices
on the apps. Yes, they do. Yeah. I have definitely done that research for sure.
Yeah.
And it frustrates me. So whenever I can, I do actually try to call like the restaurant directly and be like, hey, can I order this? And they'll still deliver it to you. You just lose one delivery fee and, you know, they get more money. Sometimes they're a little frustrated, but I'm like, oh, okay, fine. But I'm just like, I'm trying to help you and save myself a couple of dollars.
I know. I feel like we've gotten so lazy. Like it's just so easy with the apps, right? You don't have to put it on your credit card, put in the number.
Yeah. It's just like click, done. $50.
But really,
like,
oh, boo-hoo, poor baby. Put it in. What? You know?
I know. But yes, one day we will live in a utopian society where everything is perfect and we all have picket fences and food is cheap or free, which would be amazing.
Brought to you by little birds.
Oh, yes. Okay. Can they be like animated birds just kind of flutter across?
Imagining like the Cinderella birds.
Yes, I am down for this. I want to be there for this. Yeah. Down for that. So if they do an updated version of this, that's what Audrey's going to be singing about. Bluebirds
and the running.
Yes.
I don't know if running would be in my ideal world, but okay.
I don't know. There's something about like, you know, like people who have it all get bored, so they exercise or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Audrey would definitely do yoga.
Oh yeah. Or like just like something like she'd walk around with a yoga mat on her shoulder, even though she's not doing yoga.
Yeah.
You know, and she'd be like holding her Starbucks coffee all the time. She's like, oh yeah, I totally just came from yoga. And she didn't.
Yeah, she would pick up dinner.
Yeah. On the way home.
On the way home.
I want to meet this version of Audrey. Like I really do. I think.
Well, and Seymour too, right? What would he be doing? I mean, would he still be in the plant shop?
I don't think he'd be in a plant shop. I wonder what job he would have.
He'd probably be in IT or something, or like Bitcoin.
Yeah, but how would he get the plant then? I guess weird plants was just his hobby, so he could be doing all of those things.
Yeah,
and still bought the plant.
Or he has like an NFT version of it.
Oh my god! Imagine he bought it. So he buys an NFT. He buys an NFT, but in the digital file, there's actually alien code that turns into a virus and starts eating the internet. Oh my god!
We figured it out.
We figured it out.
And the zombie dentist comes back and saves the day in a surprise twist.
Da, 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 da. Oh my god! I'm down for this. I'm okay.
See?
I know I was saying they would ruin it, and I know I was saying they shouldn't do this, but I think I need to see this movie.
Yeah, they need to hire us.
That's as a, like consultants and stuff.
Yeah, and they'll just talk the whole thing. Won't write actual lyrics. It'll just be like, and here is the internet. That's it. It'll be the whole thing.
I'm down for all of this. Down for all of this. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. I want to see this. I want to see this movie. I do. Yeah. I do. Okay. Before we put more bad ideas out there and people ruin things. One of my notes here, all the songs in this are bangers. I don't know why I put it that way, but apparently that's what I felt.
Oh, okay.
It's true. I like
the banger.
I know. I'm like, I was really into it or something.
It makes you move.
It makes you move. Like, I do actually feel like I want to dance to a lot of the songs. Even like Suddenly Seymour is like a solid ballad where you like falls to the ground and like, hold on to the air kind of thing, and like even like the Little Shop of Horrors song, it's like, yeah, you want to sidestep with it, the downtown, like you feel like you're one of the Supremes singing that song. Like, yeah, like they're bangers. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Yeah. They're all great. I love it. Even the song where he's like retelling how he got the plant, like walking down the street, going to chains and all that kind of stuff. Suddenly there was an eclipse. Oh, so good. Yeah, like I said, I was shocked how much I remembered from this movie because I easily hadn't watched this movie in like 10 years. Easily. Yeah. And I fell right into it. And then the movie was finished. And I was like, that was amazing. I
know it goes fast too. I feel like
it's so fast.
I don't know, just brilliant.
Oh, and so the DVD I have has like this like featurette on like the making and stuff. Mm-hmm. And one thing I did not know about this movie was, so the ending of the movie is different than the original and the stage play ending.
Oh,
because the original ending, the plant actually wins. Like he eats Audrey, he eats Seymour.
Oh.
The store is destroyed,
right?
And that's it. Like it's a tragic ending,
right?
And so apparently they made that ending for the movie, tried to test screen it, and everybody was so angry. Like all of the test screeners were just like, "What do you mean you killed everybody? That doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't they win? I thought this was supposed to be like a happy thing." Blah blah blah. So then they switched it.
What year was the movie?
1986.
Yeah, this was the 80s. You can't have a sad ending in the 80s.
No, this isn't like some weird Norwegian think art piece or anything. You can't have that. So then they made it like a happy ending, like Audrey and Seymour get out,
right?
And they're all happy. But I'm like, all I can think of was like, oh, I wonder how they didn't have like the clip of the original ending, which I was sad about. But I'm very curious as to like what that ending would like feel like after watching that. I'd be very curious.
Then there'd be no sequel to talk about.
I mean, it could just be like it's like Planet of the Apes. People retaking the earth from the plants.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I get out of it. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting.
That is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of those B movies, they didn't have a happy ending, right? It wasn't so much about like the good of humanity. It was meant to kind of be sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Like a cautionary tale.
Yeah, or kind of more quote unquote realistic, because just because you're the good guy doesn't mean you're gonna win, kind of thing.
Well, yeah, and in reality, if you had a giant carnivorous alien plant, your chances are pretty slim getting out of that situation.
That is very true.
2 little nerds,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, probably more realistic.
Yeah, agreed. But yeah, no, I'm glad they did like the happy ending. It made me feel good. I guess that's the whole point.
Yes, it was definitely a feel-good movie.
But in a weird way when you think about it, because like I said, it talks about some very dark things. Mm-hmm. But I guess, like I said, with the music that's a bunch of bangers, you can't get away from that. Like you can't help but feel good when it's done.
Yeah, I'm sure there's deep political commentary, but you kind of just walk away whistling. It's one of those.
It's true. It's
I'll think about it. My subconscious will think about it while I sleep, but I'm just dancing.
Yeah, as I'm like humming along to "You'll Be a Dentist" when I go to sleep.
Yeah, really.
Like, if you pay too much attention to that song, you're just like, oh, that guy's twisted. But also, like, "You'll be a dent." Like, it's just, I love that song. Like, I love the ludicrousness of that song.
I really do think that's like 80% of the reason why I don't like The Dentist.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure it's just that song and just that character.
Because you think all dentists are sadists and they're trying to please their mom and they're
doing the why that I think of my dentist, who's the nicest man, but still doesn't matter.
And this is why dentistry has one of the highest suicide rates of any profession.
And I bet it jumped after that movie.
Oh, probably. Oh my God. Yes.
They're not sponsors of the movie.
I don't think so.
The movie was sponsored by TV dinners.
Yes. Or some kind of candy company. Don't go to the dentist, eat candy.
Yes. Yeah.
Much better. Mm-hmm. Or maybe just by like a horticulturalist.
Mm-hmm.
Some sort. Be like, ooh, get exotic plants. They won't eat you, I swear.
But they might. But then we'll have little cute babies and it'll be fine.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. As soon as they get tiny again, you're just like, "Aw," like, "Oh shit, it's big again," and then you're in trouble already.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. I really don't have anything else to say about Little Shop of Horrors. I've kind of meandered through it. Just keep going.
Just watch it. I think great. You haven't seen it. You have to. It's
an experience that you will enjoy.
Yes.
Just go look at it.
Yeah. And it would be good in theaters too.
I would love to see this on a big screen. I would love it.
Like my brain just died. What's the name of the movie that everybody goes to watch in theaters that I've seen 1,000 times, where you throw rice at the screen and it's like interactive?
Oh, Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Yeah, I always felt like they could have done that with Little Shop.
I think you're correct. Yeah. And that would definitely be the one I would be all about.
Yeah.
I'd dress up like either Seymour or Audrey.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I would dress up as, so the Greek chorus, when they're not dressed up, like they're not singing, and they're like, kids loitering on the street and they have like their little skirts and their bomber jackets, I would get one of those. Yes, I think I would do that. Mm-hmm. Or have like a costume change halfway in between and have like the flapper dress underneath and just like start shaking, with the songs.
I would be the plant, but yeah. Or maybe just the baby plants at the end. That would be cute. Yeah.
So you just walk around with like in like little pot, little plants.
Do they have like the little bonnet?
Yeah. So this is something you have to look into, since things are quote unquote getting better and we're allowed to go outside now.
That's a good experiential event.
I think so. I would totally be part of it. I am there. Right. So put me down for one ticket at least.
Great, we sold one ticket.
Oh, down for it. So the next movie we watched was Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Yes.
Had you ever seen this movie before?
I've seen it many years ago.
Okay.
My full disclosure, just watched it before we started recording, so that I could be very fresh in my mind.
Okay.
And I still liked it, which I was pleasantly surprised because I wasn't sure if I would still like it.
Yeah, Guy Ritchie is interesting. I find he's very much like M. Night Shyamalan in that his early movies are great, and then his later movies are just like, what are you doing? Like it just makes no sense. But you definitely get like, it definitely has a specific feel. There's a very specific tone. And I like to call this movie complicated for the sake of just being complicated. Like there's no reason for this to be as complicated as it is, but it's complicated. But a lot of his movies are like this, and the follow-up Snatch and Rock and Rolla are the same essentially in their structure. But this was definitely the first. This is the one that made me like, it introduced me to Jason Statham. It introduced me to Guy Ritchie in the first place. And definitely if I hadn't seen this movie, I probably would never have watched any other Guy Ritchie movies.
Yeah, I think for me, I remember watching it. I remember watching it the first time being like, well, this is a different kind of British person than I know. You know, like my view of British people was like Mary Poppins. Then all of a sudden this movie came out and I went, whoa, okay, there's a whole other side.
Yeah, this is definitely like British action movie. Like I was very aware of like British sci-fi, British drama, British comedy, definitely a lot of British comedy. Yeah. But British action was not like a thing I found.
Yeah.
I think I actually saw this in the movie theater when it came out. I definitely saw Snatch. I'm like 90% sure I saw this in the movies when it came out.
I definitely saw Snatch. And for some reason, I remember this having more swearing. But that might just be my adult brain that now everything doesn't like stand out to me. Yeah. I remember at the time being like, whoa, there's a lot of swearing in this movie.
But I find that's generally with British things, you know. I think it's just like North Americans are prudish. Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
We take coarse language very seriously here, where in Britain, this is like a 2 p.m. movie over there. We're here like, no, it's got to be after 9. It's got to have 35 warnings on it, blah, 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 you know? And yeah, I was watching it too going like, oh, they're saying fuck a lot. All right. Sure.
But that's a lot of the like charming swears, where it's just like a funny expression that's kind of a swear.
Yes. Yeah. You know? There's definitely a few of them I was sitting there going like, what does that mean? I know it's insulting, but what does it mean? Yeah,
you sort of get the feeling that he's really saying like fuck off, but in like a charming like, oh, drop your noodle or whatever. You're like, okay.
Yeah, he said something about like noodles and it meant he was threatening you, and you're just like, what? I mean, he's scared, so obviously this is a bad thing, but at the same time, what are you saying?
Though it's like a whole new kind of like gangster lingo.
Yes. Yeah. He definitely, like, I don't know how original this lingo is, like, because you know, like, oh shit, what's her name? Who did like Jennifer's Body and Juno and stuff, the writer, who's like, because she did like a whole bunch of like lingo, like she made that up.
Yes. I want to say Dakota, but it's not.
Oh God, now I gotta look it up too. Diablo Cody.
Yes.
Yes. So when she, like, the way they talk in Juno and in like Jennifer's Body is completely made up by her.
Yes.
And it was just like, she was just playing with language and she was just kind of like throwing in things that she thought was funny to say, which was great. It kind of worked in the space and the environment and all that kind of stuff. And with this, I'm not from England. I don't live in wherever they are in London and stuff. So I don't know if what they're saying are colloquialisms, like if they're actually things that people like, like actual slang, or if it's just shit that like Guy Ritchie made up and was like, hey, this sounds funny, throw it in there.
I like to think that it's shit he made up, but I don't know if that's true or not. Or if this was like, like sort of the schoolyard, like shit talk that the boys, there's a bit of like a locker room thing with all of this, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, all the boys are together. And yet somehow I remember as a young girl really liking it. I don't know if it's because they were cute or I just thought it was like such a different feel than everything else I'd seen. Like before we talked about like things had a vibe, this movie definitely has a vibe, right?
Yes. It's a very slick and cool vibe with like a hint of danger. Like, it's weird that I say a hint of danger because there's a lot of killing in this, but it doesn't seem like to people observing it, it doesn't seem truly dangerous.
Yeah.
But to the people involved in it, of course, they're in actual danger.
I think it's because they're like searching out the danger, right? It's not like somebody's just walking down the street and gets shot or whatever, slashed.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're pretty much intentionally going into these seedy, weird places with like crazy guns and knives and things. Yeah. It's like as a viewer, you think, okay, I can avoid that.
Yeah. Like if I don't go to this CD bar, I will not get shot in the face. I could do this. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because they're all like, everybody in this movie is sort of like I don't know, they're not even really like scam artists or anything. They're all in it trying to make a buck in a certain way, you know, by being, you know, unlawful to a certain level, right? Yeah. Like not enough to like have cops show up all the time, but enough that if they were caught, they'd be in a lot of trouble, you know? Because I mean, like, even like the whole poker thing, you know, it's people get together to play poker, but it's also a type of gambling. You also need, what is it, $100,000 to get in the thing. And like this one guy's cheating. So if, you know, cops came in or if somebody found out he was cheating, he would have been in trouble anyways. And, you know, all that kind of stuff. But when you think about it, it's just playing poker. So it's not really that bad.
Yeah. And I think it works because it's not like overly clever. Some of his later movies, he started kind of getting kind of clever with the heists and the planning. And he felt like people were actually kind of geniuses. Mm-hmm. Nobody in this movie is a genius. They're kind of just regular people figuring it out, right?
Yeah, everything seems sort of accidental, you know?
Yeah.
Like their plan to get the money back that they owed, what's his name? Hatchet Harry, you know, was to rob their neighbors because they accidentally heard something because they knew they did drugs. Right. But then those guys did something stupid to these other guys who were just like, what the hell is your problem? So then it kind of just like rippled backwards. And you're just like, okay. And this is one of the reasons why the movie's complicated, because the beginning of the movie, in the first like 15 minutes of that movie, you're introduced to like 30 people.
Yes.
And you're like, who's who? What's that guy doing? What's the relation to these people? How is Sting here? What is happening?
And they all kind of look the same.
Yes, they do.
Help you remember who's who.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Because the first time they showed the like neighbor drug dealers or whatever, I was like, wait, isn't that his friend? Yeah. And then it turns out it's not his friend. It's actually this guy's the friend. And you're like, okay.
I'd like to think that was cleverly planned, but I somehow think it was just the era that it was shot in.
Yeah, they're just like, we have a black guy and everybody else is white. So go.
Like, and 2 women in the movie, you know.
Yeah. I mean, the one poker lady, she was badass, but she had like 3 lines.
Yeah. And
was there not?
This druggy girlfriend who ended up, well, sort of saved the day and then didn't, but.
Yes. Did she get shot? No, she got punched in the face, right?
Something. She was knocked out.
Yes.
It also struck me how little like special effects there were in the movie.
Agreed. Yeah.
Right?
It's very it's very indie movie.
Yes.
Even though I don't think this would be considered an indie movie.
I can't imagine that it was cheap because there's like 8,000 people in the movie.
Yeah. It was 960 pounds. 960,000 pounds.
I was like, wow, so that's a cheap movie.
So that's well over that's like well over $1 million, right?
Okay.
So so the opening weekend in Canada and the States, it only made $143,000.
Yeah.
And then by the end, it grossed $3.75 million.
Wow.
So it didn't really make that much money back from the theaters, but I would definitely think this is like a cult classic kind of thing.
I think so. Is this his first movie? This is the first one that I remember like being aware of Guy Ritchie.
Yes, for me too. Let's see. So he wrote and directed this, but his first directing gig was a music video.
Okay, that makes sense. I can see that.
But this is his first movie that he directed. Yes.
Good for him.
I wonder if he'd written anything else before that.
I think it's pretty impressive as a first movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Together, the characters are compelling. Let's figure out who's who. It's very watchable.
It is, yeah. I did find it, I think I've gotten used to his, like, with every movie he's done since, he's gotten like a little bit of faster pace of telling the story.
Yeah.
And you could tell this was like amateur because you can feel the cutting and the like, oh, you know what would be cool if we did this? Like you could feel it while you're watching the movie. So like to me, it felt a little bit slow and a little bit like, look what we can do. It's so cool, right? But other than that, like, no, I enjoyed it. I was kind of afraid I wouldn't enjoy it, to be honest. But I did.
Rewatching it, I thought, oh, this is not going to hold up well. But then it did somehow. I don't know. I kind of like heisty, like sort of comedic action movies.
I think my problem is I get this and some elements of Snatch, like the storyline mixed up because there's so many pieces in both the movies and there's sort of like a, you know, one's really about a diamond heist and this is about a poker game. Fine. But it's a lot of crossover kind of in like the actors, there's a lot of crossover. Yeah. Of course, there's like the style, like the visual style and the directing style of it. Also watching this movie, I kept thinking about Trainspotting and then Boondock Saints because it has that same kind of color palette and feel and, you know, movement throughout.
Yes.
So I was trying to think of like, was it like a style of filming or was it just like he was paying homage to, well, it would have been Trainspotting. Trainspotting came out before, but Boondocks came out after. So, yeah. I just want to say that apparently he's directing Aladdin 2 that is in pre-production.
Really?
And I'm very confused by all. Well, he directed the Aladdin that came out. The live action one.
Yeah, but did that do well?
I don't know. I didn't watch it. I
didn't watch it either. It didn't. I couldn't.
I have not been able to watch any of the live action. I'm going to put live action in quotes, especially with The Jungle Book and The Lion King. Lots of quotation marks. I have not been able to watch any of the live action Disney movies. Like I just can't. Yeah. I can't do it.
Yeah, that one in particular, I just felt like they kind of should have left it alone.
Yeah,
you just don't touch Robin Williams. Just leave it. No,
you can't do it. Yeah, and he who shall not be named. Like, I don't care how good you think you are, you can't.
Is he in the second one?
I'm assuming the genie's gonna be part of it.
I know they might be rethinking. I don't know what.
They're saying a lot of his stuff is falling apart. So, well, Jasmine and Aladdin are back, but that's the only cast that is listed right now. So.
Yeah, I bet they're dropping him.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That guy Richie felt like he obviously enjoyed his experience or something about it.
Something.
Yeah. It's a different kind of movie for him. Give him that.
I think so. He also did. Oh no, he just wrote The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I love the movie The Man from U.N.C.L.E. And I don't know why. Nobody watched that movie. Nobody's seen it.
I feel like it was a very underrated. It was sort of here and gone. It was a really good movie.
It was very good. Because I remember when it came out, and I was like a week late or something. I'm like, oh, I want to go watch this movie, and then it was out of the theaters. Then I had to wait, and then it was like on TV or something, and I watched it, and I was like, that was so good. What are you talking about? Ugh. Yeah. But yeah, no, he did the screenplay for that one, but he didn't direct it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, no, he did direct it. Yes, he did. He did direct it. Never mind.
Yeah, you definitely see the progress from like Lock, Stock to that.
Yeah.
You know, his style is similar, but I mean, for sure, budget changed. And he kind of figured out his pacing and his timing and all of that.
Yeah, and like what he really, like the main story he's trying to tell, because he also did that Tarantino thing where he had a lot of scenes where people were just like sitting around talking and just like sprouting a lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I know what you're trying to do, but at the same time, it's not helping your story in any way, shape, or form. You could cut that out. Just not necessary. Or it just needs to be like less. And I also think that's why he's following like like Rock and Rolla and Snatch work really well, because even though they had scenes like that where they were just sitting around having like chatter, it was much shorter and more like succinct scenes compared to just like long.
Was it, or was it just a better cast in Snatch?
That's true. Well, okay, so two of the guys are the same in Snatch. But like, so it's Jason Statham and what's that guy's name? The guy who had to go steal the guns but stole the wrong guns, and there was one who just had his hair done, and the other guy, it's the other guy. I don't know what that guy's name is. I'm not being very helpful.
Great, well, I don't know what his name is.
But he comes back in Snatch.
Yeah.
And he's really good. And then, well, maybe it's the Brad Pitt thing. I don't know.
I think it's the Brad Pitt thing. It's the Brad effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Benicio del Toro in this? Is that who I'm seeing in this poster?
Yeah. I'm looking at the cast list. That movie, I definitely remember watching, being like, wow, this is what a cool guy is.
It's true. It's true.
You're wrong. It was definitely like the epitome of cool at the time.
Yeah. And even like the grimy guys, you know, with their caravans and all that kind of stuff, even though they're supposed to be like grimy and gross, they still come across as really cool.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And like, you know, we've got all these gangsters, all their suits and stuff, and they come across really cool, and people are just being stupid, but they're still cool in some way. You're like, all right, I get what you're doing.
Well, it's kind of a good modern take on, like, I think he mentions Goodfellas in this movie, right? Like, that's obviously where his starting point was. How do you take kind of gangsters but make them modern, real characters? Or like Dick Tracy, obviously like very like comic book style version of what a gangster is.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, he's this dude who works at a sex shop or works in a pub, or right?
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely, everybody in it is definitely a caricature of some sort, but believable enough that you don't take it as a joke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is trickier than I think it probably looks. Sort of seems like got a bunch of cool people together and had them talk, but I'm sure that's not at all what happened.
No. I don't know. I've actually never read one of his scripts, like Guy Ritchie's scripts. So I don't know how like how it translates. It's not like Wes Anderson's scripts are like, he paints a picture of what you're going to see on screen and nobody diverts from that. So you're like, whatever is on the page is what is on the screen, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like some people like, what can I think of? Like the comedy guy. Oh my God. I don't know. It happens when you work with comedians anyways, but there's like a lot of like ad-libbing and a lot of,
Judd Apatow.
Judd Apatow. Yes. So there's lots of like specific things are very specific to what's on screen, but his description of the scene and the dialogue can be very different sometimes.
Yes. Because
sometimes the comedian or sometimes whatever the scene is, they're like, okay, let's do what's on the page. And you know what? Just how do you feel to do this? So this is what's happening. How do you feel to do this? And they'll redo it. And they'll take whatever is best. So sometimes scenes are like the dialogue and stuff is very different than what's on the page. And sometimes it's exactly what's on the page. But his descriptions of the scene and stuff are a lot less. But I'm wondering if Guy Ritchie, like how close to dialogue it is, or how he describes the scene and stuff. Like, can you picture it? Or was there a lot of interpretation after they took it?
No, I'm guessing that it's pretty close to the script.
You think so?
I think so, because I think his style is pretty exacting, even though there's like crazy lingo and all of that. You know, like a Tarantino in that way, where like
that's true.
It wouldn't work unless it was sort of had like that snappy pace to it. I don't know. Maybe that's why he works with the same people, because maybe they kind of get his language and then it lets them play.
Yeah, like I mean, like I could definitely see that in like the Sherlock Holmes movies, for example, with like RDJ and like Jude Law and stuff. But like I feel like, or maybe it's a.
I like
It's a tribute.
Okay.
He's my friend. We go by initials. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you.
Yes. If people don't know, it's Robert Downey Jr. There you go. Said it. Said his whole name. Thank you. See, Jude Law is nice and easy. Robert Downey Jr. That's a lot. That's a lot of syllables.
One too many words to say.
Yes. I don't know what I was saying.
Sorry.
Oh, so I was saying that like I don't know if this is a testament to his filmmaking or his writing style, but the way some of the scenes come across, they come across very like loose, very comfortable. So it doesn't feel like it's scripted. But like I said, I don't know if that's a testament to how he makes his films or if like that's an actor thing or if, you know, or if maybe, there was ad-lib scenes or something. No idea.
You gotta ask him.
I know. Or I gotta find one of his scripts and like have a read through and be like, oh, okay. Yeah. It's always fun to do that every once in a while. I find reading scripts can be very boring. But if it's like a movie that you really like, or you're just like interested in like, how would this translate onto screen? And it's like a movie that you enjoy, just like pick a page and like watch the scene. It's really fun to do. Yeah.
It's fun to read like how much or how little action they put into the script too.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes it's like he looked at her, but in the movie, it's like this whole 1 minute sequence over a hill.
Yeah. Or they're like, oh, and he walked over to the table, but you know, he like swaggers over and he like picks up a glass and he does like a thing or whatever. And you're like, it's 3 minutes of us just like watching this dude. And you're just like, how did the director get this out of this? Like, but again, that's part of the artistry of the whole thing, right? Yeah. That's why I understand, like writer directors, I really understand because you're writing it, you know what's in your head. You don't have to put down the description. So you like put it on screen. But like people who are just like, I've written this thing, here you go. And somebody else is like, I'm interpreting all the things. I would be so frustrated as a writer. I'd be like, that's not what I pictured. That's what we're doing.
That's how Aladdin happens. The way he wrote that.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a great movie. I didn't see it, but
yeah. No, I don't think I will ever. Maybe one very sad day when I have watched all of the things and you're like, this is the only thing that's left. I'm gonna give it a look.
Eventually.
Yeah. And especially Aladdin. Aladdin is my favorite Disney movie.
Yeah.
So you have to blow me away for me to be like, that was good. And from the ads I've seen and little snippets here and there, I'm like, no, you have ruined the things. Sorry, what?
Little Mermaid, the live action one that they're remaking. That one looks like it might have potential.
Yeah.
No?
I'm not doing it. I haven't even watched like, you know, they did Cinderella, they did like Beauty and the Beast and stuff. I haven't even watched those. Like I just can't do it. Like it's just
cute. It was cute. Yeah.
A lot of people said what is it? Emma Watson's performance was very like she was bored.
I thought she was good. I think people were just wanting her to be Hermione and she wasn't. She was trying to be somebody else. I thought she was kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it wasn't like a blow me away kind of performance, but it was nice.
Mm-hmm.
The Beast was nice.
Yeah. I would probably definitely watch like Beauty and the Beast or Cinderella way before I watch like The Lion King or anything like that.
Yeah, Dumbo was pretty bad. Dumbo
really?
One of my favorites, like the animated original version.
Mm-hmm.
They butchered that in the live action.
Okay, so I must admit, when they were releasing that Dumbo, I realized I had actually never watched all of Dumbo. I had never watched all of it. And then, so I have Disney Plus, so I sat down and I just watched it.
Yeah.
And first of all, I think the movie's beautiful. It's super racist.
Yes.
It is heartbreaking.
Yes.
But as an actual like story, there's no story.
But it's just a little Dumbo with his big ears.
I know. Like I actually think if you want to be an animator or you're into animating or you're even into just art, just watch it for like the visuals alone, just like you should watch Fantasia. Like it's just beautiful to look at. And I also think it's really good to watch. Like I said, it was racist because there's a couple of things in there that are just flat out offensive. But I also think if you're into like the history of film and stuff, or, you know, where our society has gone from and to, have a look at it, right? You are going to gasp at certain things. You are. Because I was just like, oh my God, what?
I have to go back and watch it now.
Yeah. No, the thing with the crows is just wrong. And like there are definitely several parts where I was just like, what is in my eye? What is going on? You know, like the whole baby mine thing.
It's a weirdly emotional movie, like more than Bambi, I would say.
I agree. Well, Bambi, the emotions are just like right at the beginning.
It's just a moment, and then
it's like frolicking around, and hey, we're in the woods. We're so cute.
Frolic.
Yeah, but like, there's no actual story in Dumbo. I realize. I enjoyed it. It's an experience.
He learns to fly. I guess that's it, really.
It's really random. Like I don't know. But like, yeah, like I was just confused as to like what story are they putting together in this movie? Yeah. And I bet you it's not really about Dumbo, it's about the people.
Yes. Oh, I'm sure there's a whole undercurrent of that movie that I would probably catch watching it now. But kid, I just remember thinking it was like the sweetest thing that you just want to smush.
Oh yeah. Oh no, like you through the movie, you want to steal Dumbo and take him home with you.
Yes.
Absolutely agreed. And those other elephant mothers were real assholes. Just saying.
Yeah.
They shunned Dumbo's mother because his ears were big. What? No. You're an elephant. You're supposed to have big ears. How it works.
Not that big.
Oh, ridiculous. But yeah, no, watch Dumbo.
Okay, I gotta rewatch it now.
Yeah. You'll realize that there's no story, but you know what it's like? It's like Fantasia, as in it's just like it's just pieces of things that are very nice to look at.
Yeah.
So, but like in the end, you're just like, what was the actual story? There wasn't one.
Yeah, maybe it is more of just that look what we can do in animation now. Moment in history, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think you'll still enjoy it for sure. But yeah.
Well, now that you said there's no story and it's racist, I don't know how much I enjoy it. It does make me want to go back and rewatch it.
You'll still enjoy it. It's like with anything, right? Like you watch some of those like teen romp movies from the 80s, and every once in a while you're just like, oh no, that's wrong. Like not like Revenge of the Nerds. That's just, that whole thing is offensive. But like, you know,
it's like when everything is offensive, then nothing's offensive. If you're making fun of everybody, does it still count?
No, see, it's not offensive in that way. It's just that everything that is done in the movie is just wrong. Like even for that time period, like it shocks me that that movie was made and that people thought it was really funny, and then it made a bunch of money. Because even for that time period, you watch it and you're just like, even for like the mid 80s, like there's like, they rape people, they drug people, they, you know, like they assault people like violently and all that kind of stuff. Like it's not a wholesome, funny thing. It's, yeah, no.
Yeah, it's definitely a timepiece. It probably didn't age well, but I mean, I remember watching that movie as like a dumb kid and just being like, oh, it's funny, look at the nerds, like you're so, you know, it was sort of the 80s mentality, or it was like, oh, the jocks and the nerds and the cheerleaders and you never looked beyond the surface of anything.
Yeah.
Surface time.
Well, I also think when you're a kid, you're laughing at colors and like somebody fell down. You're not listening to like the words or what the actions could actually mean.
And I couldn't tell you the story. I mean, they were trying to get their sorority back or something. Wasn't that sort of Revenge of the Nerds?
No, aren't they? So they're like, yeah, I think they're in college, and like the frat boys did something to the nerds, and they're getting them back. That's essentially what it is. No, the frat house one you're thinking of. Oh my god, with John Belushi.
Animal House?
Animal House. I think you're thinking of Animal House.
I think it was all around the same time, or it's like
like Animal House has a couple of things that are like wrong.
Oh yeah.
But overall, it's not that bad. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like except for being, which is still wrong, being like a peeping Tom. They don't do anything that is like overtly wrong to other people. Like putting a horse in somebody's office, whoop-de-doo, you know? Whatever.
So funny, but yeah.
Pretending you're a zit and starting a food fight, fine. You know, going to the wrong sides of the tracks and like going to like a thing, fine. Right. But yeah, no. It was a
different time.
It was definitely a different time. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
We didn't question things. We didn't really
kind of let it happen.
No, you walked out of the movie theater and it was like, that was funny, and that was it. There was no conversation about anything.
Yeah. You didn't look at the underlying meaning of things or like how does that affect the characters, you know? You're just like,
I think also it was a time like you couldn't rewatch the movie.
It's true.
A rental and you were getting the VHS, right? So you saw it, whatever your memory was, that was it. You weren't able to kind of go back and pick it apart.
Yeah, and even from like now we go from like the theater to streaming either at the same time or within weeks, whereas then it was like years before a movie would go from the screen to VHS, then to TV.
Yeah,
and like it being like readily available for you to look at. So you're watching it like years apart.
Yes,
without picking up on these like nuances. You didn't get to watch it like, oh, I watched Revenge of the Nerds 35 times last year. You're like, really? You went to the movie theater 35 times to watch one movie? Like that, it just didn't make any sense.
Some people did, but no, yeah.
I know with Star Wars that was a big thing with rewatching in theaters.
Yeah.
Not sure about anything else though. Titanic was like that.
I had friends. Jurassic Park
definitely was. Yeah.
A few people who saw Jurassic Park a few times in theater.
Yeah. I had one friend who saw Titanic 8 times in the theater.
Wow.
And so I was in high school at the time. And I know several people I went to school with, which blew my fucking mind because they saw it like 20 times in the movie theater. And I'm like, there's other movies to watch. What are you doing? Like, it was crazy. It's crazy.
I was like that with Dirty Dancing. Because they used to bring that back every few years.
Yeah.
Go to the theater. I skipped school to go watch Dirty Dancing with my friend in high school.
Yeah.
I was in the theater. We danced. It was great. We thought we were very cool.
You made it an experience. There's nothing wrong with that.
It was an experience, but Titanic. I saw it once in theater when it first came out.
Mm.
A very vivid memory. I was in Chicago on vacation with my family, and the woman beside me, I was like the end of my family row. The woman beside me was a stranger, and she was there by herself, and she cried the whole time. And she like grabbed my knee at one point, and I remember being like, "Whoa, this is intense."
Yeah. No, I saw Titanic twice in the theater. Vivid memory as well. It was a very packed theater. It was me and 2 of my girlfriends, and
not a movie you should see with parents.
Huh?
Time.
Oh, not a movie to see with your parents. Yes, that is correct. Yeah, like that one scene, you're just like, oh, why are we here? And you have to pretend not to look at the screen. I'm not seeing anything. What are you talking about? What?
My new friend who was crying through everything. This probably was her 5th time watching the movie.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah, because the first time we saw it was ruined by a random stranger. And then the second time we saw it, who were we you doing? We were out somewhere. My friend was like, oh, it's on. We should go watch it now. And I'm like, I don't want to spend 4 hours in the theater. I don't want to do this. And she just talked us into watching it, watch it again. And I was just like, and I'm done. I don't need this in my life anymore.
Yeah, I really liked it, but I don't think it's a movie that I need to watch 1,000 times.
Yeah, no.
I feel like I got it the first time.
There's no subtlety. There's no nuance. There's no like, what could this mean?
Yeah,
there's
like, oh, I missed this. No.
There's no like tiny moments. Like, I think the thing that made it interesting though was all the stuff that came out after about the Titanic, like the certain characters, like like the band playing on the deck, or the people who were like in bed together, like and they were like holding each other. Apparently, it was like a real couple. Everybody went to like this poor guy's gravestone, which wasn't, the Jack in the movie was just like a made up dude, and this guy just happened to have the same name, and everyone's like, oh, it's him. No, it wasn't. Like, I think all this, like the supplementary stuff that came out after was interesting, but like the actual movie, you're like,
Well, and the fact that they like actually basically drowned the actors. They just sit in the cold water for hours and hours on end just to get. It's pretty. I mean, it worked.
Apparently, they wanted to get them like shivering and stuff to make it look more real. You're like, don't we have laws against this?
Kind of awful. Yeah.
No, that's so wrong. I mean, I do think like James Cameron was interesting because he did make up like a whole new scuba technology and camera technology to film things underwater and all this kind of stuff. He's always been known for innovations of that kind of stuff, but at the same time, like,
And that they supposedly like replicated the ship, like, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And then they flooded it. Like when they flooded it, they actually flooded. It was like a one take thing.
Yes. Yeah. Well, apparently, like there's scenes where people like running and all that kind of stuff, like up staircases and stuff, and people like falling and look like they're drowning. Yeah, apparently those people used to be rescued after because they were in actual danger and they could have drowned.
Yeah.
So, but I really hope, like with the Poseidon Adventure, this caused people to have like more laws put in place to protect actors and like, like a lot, half these people are like extras. They're just like, here, stand in some water with this dress on. They're like, okay. And I almost died today. Like, what? That's awful.
Yeah. I hope now there are better rights in place and people also feel like they can like speak up and ruin a take, right? I think there was probably so much pressure not to ruin it.
Yeah.
Like, I can't really breathe, but you got it. No? Okay.
Keep going. Okay, thanks. They keep doing like, with that poor woman that got shot last year, and they really need to, like, regulations are in place for a reason, and they should stop ignoring these things for the art.
And there's really no excuse now to ever have like a real weapon, a real thing on any set with our like technology. Like there's just no, you can make a 3D printed version of a gun.
Yeah.
That cannot ever shoot anything, and that's the only thing that should ever be on the set.
I absolutely agree. Yeah. It just blows my mind sometimes. I'm like, there's a difference between authenticity and being a moron.
And nobody watching it knows, hopefully, the intricacies of a gun, and if they do, then too bad.
Yeah. They
can acknowledge that they're watching a movie.
And no matter how authentic you make something, there's going to be some asshole out there who's going to be like, well, this is wrong because, they're like, the patina and the light reflection is incorrect. Like, what? Fuck off, dude. Whatever. With that said, with the amount of guns in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, I really hope nobody is complaining about the light reflecting off the gun's patina. See, I tried to bring it back around. That was my segment, but it wasn't.
And that I didn't remember that part at all until rewatching it just a few hours ago.
But about the guns?
The guns.
That's what the Two Smoking Barrels is.
I know, but my memory of the movie was like the banter and the poker game and the robberies and all that stuff. The whole smoking barrel thing to me, I was like, I wonder why it's called this. And then I rewatched it and went, oh, okay. And now I understand why it's two and not just Lock, Stock, and Barrel, which is the expression.
Yeah. No, my thing was like I remembered the guns. I actually thought the guns played like I remember them being a part of the movie, but I thought it was like more about the guns.
Yes.
And less about the money for the poker thing. I thought the main goal of the movie was to get the guns, but the main goal of the movie is to pay off this poker debt.
Right.
So I was just like, oh, and the guns are just like extra.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I think it goes back to me like not staying awake until the end of the movies. I was like, oh, look at that final scene. It all kind of ties together.
That reminds me of a friend I used to have. Who had seen half of every single movie ever made. Because he was like, I don't have 2 hours to spare, or 2 hours is a waste of time. And so we get about halfway and be like, I'm sick of this, and just walk away. So I'm like, so you've seen half of, so I'll be like, have you seen like some random movie? He's like, yeah, up until this part. I'm like, that's halfway. It's like, yeah, it's over an hour. It's fine.
Then you probably know the movies that he actually finishes all the way through. Like that's a ringing endorsement.
That is true. Yes. Yeah. I mean, he had seen movies with me in the theater, so he's forced to watch it.
Yes. You can always close your eyes.
Yes.
They're timing it. 60 minutes.
Yeah. He's like, now it's nap time. Forget the rest. Yeah.
Sleep mask. Yeah.
But yeah, no, you need to watch the movies to the end. Okay. Watch it to the end.
This is starting to make me rethink my whole movie watching experience. And maybe also explains why I tend to watch TV series now backwards. Maybe I'm like missing the ending.
You watch them backwards?
Yeah, I watch Breaking Bad backwards. It's really good backwards.
I mean,
Game of Thrones. Well, Game of Thrones I started, I think, at season 3 and then watched backwards and then watched forwards.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of confusing.
I didn't understand the end of Breaking Bad because I hadn't seen the first season and a half of the show. Because I was just like, who are these people that he's giving money to? Who are these people? Who's that guy? I was so confused. You were just like, remember there was his business partners and that's why he got kicked out and he was a school teacher? And I was like, no.
It's surprisingly dramatic when you watch it backwards.
I don't know. I tried to rewatch Breaking Bad from the beginning and I found it so boring. I was like, oh, this is why I didn't start originally. Yeah,
try it in reverse.
Okay.
I literally did that like last episode, second last episode. I don't know why.
I guess it's a different sort of like, oh, I wonder how they got here. And then you go back.
Like, oh, okay. Oh, that's who he's married to. Okay.
Okay. Maybe I'll have to give this a shot then, because I think I could do Breaking Bad backwards and not have a problem. And then maybe I'll make it all the way to the first episode. That would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the characters were just really, really unlikable in the first season, like purposefully. Right. And I just didn't care about them because of that. And I was just like, I don't want to watch this. And then randomly one day I watched an episode and I was like, oh, this is really good. And then from that on, I was stuck.
That was my Game of Thrones experience. Like, oh.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah. Me being a giant nerd, I read the books first and then watched the show. It's fine.
I know. Well, that's one. I started watching. I was like, oh, there are books. Mm-hmm. Clearly living in a closet for many years.
I'm still mad he hasn't put out that 6th book yet. I'm still mad about it.
Wasn't he supposed to? Was that a COVID thing? Or
no, he's that book has been supposed to be out like 10 years now. Oh. Like a Dance of Dragons or something. It's supposed to be. He put out like the first chapter.
Really long.
Yeah. Each book of his got long. Each book got longer, and like the first book starts at like 900 pages. So you're like, okay, I guess, sure.
I remember one of my friends like bringing me the books, and like, you should. And I was like, this is too much for me. I can't.
I took a few years to read them. Well, no, no. I started reading right when the 4th book came out, and I read them all 4 of those back to back. Then there was a short break, and then the 5th book came out. And then they're like, the 6th book is coming out in like 6 months. I'm like, yes.
Right.
Nope. No. Still nothing. Mm-mm.
But now they're doing like a prequel series, right?
Yeah.
Is that based on the book? So that's totally separate.
That's part of the lore. That stuff is not in the actual books. even though they make a lot of reference to that stuff in the books. Because
Okay.
so one of the things they talk about in the book in the series is that they have this book that's the history of like the kingdom, and they trace back like all the families and all that kind of stuff. And essentially this prequel is going to talk about those families from the book.
Okay.
That's all I know. And like where all there's going to be more dragons in it. Like this is going to be a time period where like the dragons existed and like were around, you know, like pigeons, like they're just like flying everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be lots more dragons. But yeah, I don't know what his involvement in this, but he should have finished his other book before starting the show, is all I'm saying.
Right. Well, maybe that's why he's late. Maybe he's writing all the scripts.
Oh my God. He said he was stopping that. That's why he didn't come back and write season 7 and 8. Like how you're so personally
offended.
I am offended. I am mad about this. Because now it's gotten to a point where I know I'm going to have to reread the books.
Yeah.
Because there's so much that's different from the books and the TV show that I'm going to mix it up. And when that book comes out, I can't start reading. I have to I got to go back and like make sure I get the stories right and then continue. Yeah. That is like another year of my life gone. That's a lot. Anyways. Yes. Game of Thrones. Why would you get me started talking about this?
It's exactly like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. I have no notes on this movie except for like the thing about the color palettes and like, you know, thinking about train spotting and stuff. I just got lost in the story being told and being confused. I had to concentrate a lot because, like I said, it's very complicated. I was like, oh, that's what this. Okay, get it at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that it's like light enough that even if you're not super concentrating, you still kind of get the gist, you know? Yeah. You might miss the moments in between, but you understand, you can follow through. They're trying to get the money back.
Yeah. You're like, oh, antics? Oh, yeah, antics. Okay. Yeah. Now the guy got shot in the face. You're like, okay.
Because it's kind of a shitty father.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's right. He's also in Snatch because he plays Turkish's dad. That's the thing that confused me. So Turkish in Snatch is played by Jason Statham, and Sting plays his father in Snatch. Oh. Whereas in this movie, he plays the other guy's father.
Right.
And that was the part that got me really confused. I'm like, I thought Jason Statham was the star of this movie. No, it's the other dude.
I think a lot of people thought that Snatch was like in the same universe.
Yes, I did.
But it's not really, right?
It's not. No. It's a different set of people, I think. Yes.
Yeah, I think there's some crossover, but in the same way that like Wes Anderson or Ryan Murphy reuses a lot of the same people, but it's different. Well, not really. It's a more similar world than the Wes Anderson movies are.
Yes. Yeah. Because they all take place in like the same place and with the same type of people doing the same type of thing. So you're just like, are you the same person? Because you seem to be doing the same stuff.
Yeah, and kind of the same period.
Yeah.
Like Man from U.N.C.L.E. was at least like kind of a period piece, right?
Yeah, because that one takes place in like the 60s?
Yeah.
70s? Yeah. Yeah. And then he did that really horrible King Arthur. That was so bad.
Yeah, I never saw.
Yeah, don't. It's really bad.
I like the Sherlock Holmes though.
I like the first one. I didn't like the Game of Shadows.
What is that?
What?
RDJ.
Yeah, RDJ. Their bromance though, him and Jude Law, it's palpable. It's on screen. You could feel it.
Their chemistry is way better than the Bridgerton couple.
Yeah. It's also better than like him and Rachel McAdams, who's the woman he's supposed to be obsessed with and loves. You're just you're like, no, you guys are gonna make out soon, right? That's what's happening over here. Okay.
They're good. They should live together. I don't know what their situations are, but I think they should live together.
I bet you they have like every night they like text each other in bed and they're like, hey, how's it going? Yeah, good.
Hey, RD.
How's it going? Did you have a good day on set today? It was such a good day. What are you up to? Oh, doing the new clip again. Blah, blah, blah. Love it.
Except they're different time zones. So I'll be like, oh.
I'm like, oh, I'm just having breakfast.
And
Oh,
my
wait a
supper.
bit.
I imagine Jude has a cute little nightcap.
He's got his little like what is it, like his eye mask? It's just like sleepy time on it or something. Yeah, I believe it. I love that we've turned them into like teenage girls. It's great.
They have the phones with the curly cords.
And it's just like they like curl it on their fingers.
Yes. Yeah. Did you hear what Bobby did in school today? Yeah, that's definitely them.
I love it. I want to be on that phone call. It's just it. Like I really do.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Do you have any final thoughts about Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels?
I want to go back and rewatch and like use the language, like start using it to see if it makes me feel cooler. I'm gonna guess no.
I think people would just be confused, be like, "What are you saying?" Yeah, no, I think I should. My biggest problem with a lot of these like British films is that the first like 5-10 minutes, well, I'd say 5 minutes, I have no idea what anybody's saying.
Yes.
Right. And then all of a sudden, like my brain like clicks into it and I'm like, there we go. Now I can understand words.
Yeah.
And it's fine. Yeah. They're just like heavy accents and they're fast talking. They're like the Gilmore Girls, the way how fast they talk. Like it's crazy.
Yes. Yeah. It always takes me a minute to kind of get my brain around. Oh, this is also English. Okay.
You're like, are you sure this is all a different language? I think that's a different language.
Yeah.
No? Okay. All right. That's fine.
Cockney.
Cockney. Yes.
Cockney.
Hello, governor.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
it.
That's it.
That's all I can do these days.
The movie was dedicated to something, governor. Did you notice?
Yes, I did see that at the end. Just the governor at the end, and I was like, I wonder what happened to that guy.
Hmm.
Maybe I should have looked that up before.
Really an ode to My Fair Lady. Always comes back to the musicals.
As long as it's a good one. I think I've seen My Fair Lady.
That may not age well either, but
yeah,
it's a classic.
I mean, I've seen versions of My Fair Lady, like She's All That. Does that count?
No, does not. You should read Pygmalion, read the original play, which does definitely not age well.
Okay.
In terms of women's rights. And then you can watch the movie, which slightly ages better because they put her in normal clothing and she's like kind of taken care of. And then you can watch the 80s remakes and see how they made her better.
Okay. All right. So, we'll start at Pygmalion. I remember doing that in high school, but I think it was one of the books where I was just like, I'm not reading this. And then I didn't. That was it.
That book I remember very early on. I guess that's the thing when you're just reading a play, right? Even at the time thinking like, wow, this Henry Higgins guy is a real dick. Like, why does she end up with him?
Oh my God.
When came out that's based on it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I don't know. She made a weird move. I'm like, yeah, because it's based on this awful play.
Oh God. Okay. Did not know about that. The one play I remember us doing besides like Shakespeare is The Glass Menagerie.
Yes.
I actually it was weird. I enjoyed that one, especially the whole thing about her gentleman callers and stuff. I was like, ooh, gentleman callers. You know.
The only thing I remember about that play is that my high school English teacher that year, I think, was like a failed actor. And so she played all the parts. We were supposed to read the play out loud, but she just read all the parts. And we just sat there and watched her have a conversation with herself.
No, our teacher was nice enough to let us all read it out loud by ourselves in class. So, it's great.
The kid would get one word out. They would be like, and then she'd be like, let me take it over. And
is it one of those? She's like, no, you're not really getting the emotion. You have to feel what she's feeling.
Yep.
Sounds about right. Yeah. Definitely had a drama teacher like that. Oh, it's always great.
There's always one.
Yeah. Anyways, Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you. This was really fun.
Yes. We talked about the movies a lot less than usual because we didn't really have notes, but they're good. Go watch them.
Yes, you won't get them confused.
No, you would not.
No, there's very little in common.
Yes, very true. But they're both good in their own way.
Yeah,
I love it.
Just like children. Each one special in its own way.
Yes. Well, that's it for this episode of Off My Shelf. Until next time, you can follow along on Instagram and Twitter at ohmyshelf, or you can send an email to ohmyshelf@gmail.com. On the next episode, we will be talking about the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Hope you'll be here to listen.